Hello and welcome to Monkey Broadcast, a review/discussion show with me, the Jonin Monkey.
And me, Sven the Crusader, as always.
And to this month, since we're in October, we're going to give you a very special Monkey Broadcast, which will include spine-chilling horrors, which mostly consists of us doing exactly the same thing we have done several times before.
Well, I suppose you could count Naruto and Bleach as spine-chilling horrors, depends on how you look at it.
Don't remind me. Anyway, I can't think of anything else for the introduction, so let's waste no time in getting on to the first section.
Video games!
As the title implies, this is just a section to summarise what games we've been playing recently and what we think of them. So, Sven, start off with you first. What games have you been playing?
Oh, this one's gonna be a big one. I've been busy. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Mass Effect 2, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and Fallout Tactics.
Right, let's try and think of the best way to get around this.
Well, to be fair, the last three can basically be described all as the same thing.
Alrighty then. Okay, we'll save that one till last, so let's start off with Castlevania Dawn. Which one is that? Because I know there were several for the DS and one for the GameCube, I'm not sure.
I don't remember which one this is for the DS. Those interested would have to look it up. I don't recall the numbers, and it's the only Castlevania I've ever played.
Okay, fair enough. I know that Castlevania is a horror-based series, and it's kind of side-scrolling, and I also know that it's infamous for being really hard. Is that the same case here, or...?
It's not bone-crushingly hard like some of the earlier ones, but it can still be a challenge, especially whenever you forget to save after hours and hours and hours of grinding the same monster.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, see, in this game, you have to collect the souls of monsters, and some of them, well, they have a varying degree of rareness. I was grinding on a 1-star rareness. I kept getting 2 stars because the game was just trolling me. Then whenever I finally got the bloody thing to go and upgrade my weapons, a bat killed me. A freaking bat!
That is harsh. So yeah, aside from that, I'd still say it's a good game overall, ne?
It is wickedly fun and addicting once you get into it.
I guess that's why the series has lasted for so long.
Yeah, especially Dawn of Sorrow to me because there's so much of a collection of items aspect to it, and I love that. It's RPGs, and I love those.
Epic.
Although I will say, to the unprepared, some of that game's enemies can come off as a bit of a shock. Including one, well, you'll have to see for yourself. Guys, does this remind you of anything?
It doesn't remind me of anything particularly, but it's terrifying, whatever the hell it is.
Well, the thing is, I feel so strange saying this on this show, but I've had 4 people say to me now that it reminded them of a giant penis on legs.
Oh. Yeah, now that I look at it, I can't leave it out of my head.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
yeah.
So many people came up to me with that, and I just needed to see if someone else could confirm it.
Well, I guess this is one spine-chilling horror that could come up.
Yeah, I didn't really plan for the timing to be so perfect, but...
So, overall, aside from the difficulty and penis monsters, you would say it's a good game?
Yes. And that's not even scratching the surface of how terrifying the monsters can get, but anyway.
Oh, jeez, I don't want to know. So, moving on to Mass Effect 2, was the other game you played recently?
Yeah. I played it because I'm a fanboy of the original, and even though one of my friends was terribly disappointed, I was not. Because it didn't really change too much. It brought back all the old characters, well, most of them. And added new things, added new characters, new gameplay mechanics. The voice acting was better. Basically, my dream come true.
Yay! I've yet to get around to playing the Mass Effect series, but I did hear mixed reactions about Mass Effect 2, so...
Well, as I always say, whenever it comes to professional critics talking about a game, I like it, they have their opinion. So leave me alone.
Fair enough. So yeah, much like Mass Effect 1, I take it you really love Mass Effect 2 then?
Yes, you could say that.
Would you say it's better than the original, or are you not really comparing the two? Do you just like them both as separate games? Huh?
I like them both as separate games about equally.
Excellent. And last but not least, the 3 Fallout games.
Oh, those games are unforgivingly hard.
Oh, I'm trying to remember the Fallout series. It's kind of a shooting game, was it? Or
Well, don't let Fallout 3 confuse you. The original series has nothing to do with first person. It's an overhead tactical shooter, basically. It has turn-based combat. You do fun quests in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Regular Fallout stock, but let me tell you, Fallout 3, it's childlike compared to these games. Yeah, it got soul-crushingly hard, especially if you put it on hard mode. Please, don't put it on hard mode on your first try, don't.
yeah.
I put it on normal mode and I was getting my ass kicked.
Oh. Aside from the impossible difficulty curve, would you recommend it as a good game? Is it?
For a masochist? Yes.
How about for someone who just wants to have fun?
Put it on easy mode. A whole lot of fun crap can happen whenever it's on easy mode in combat. Like, say, the time that I was level 1, shooting at massive scorpions. I was doing about 8 damage per hit. I critical, did 40 damage in one hit, killed the scorpion, and sent it flop backwards.
Well, that's a big step up.
There's a lot of random crap that happens whenever you make a critical hit. It's so random and hilarious.
Would you say it's worthy of difficulty then, or?
Yeah, I'd say it's worth difficulty, and if you're feeling particularly masochistic that day, go ahead and try normal mode or hard mode. At your own peril, man. At your own peril.
Oh dear. And so, is that all the games you've been playing recently, or?
Yes.
Okay then. Now, this is where we get to the awkward bit, because like you, I've been playing a lot of games recently, due to the fact that I'm trying to use up as much time as I can until Donkey Kong Country Returns comes out, or Pokemon Black, or the new Phoenix Wright Professor Layton crossover that's been announced, and the new Fire Emblem. Anyway,
have they even released a release date for that yet?
Nope, not yet, although it's in Japan, rather irritatingly, so...
Yeah, it came out in Japan like 1 month after they announced the game.
So yeah, whilst I've been waiting for those, I've been going through a back catalogue of all my old games, so yeah, I'm going to try and go through these as fast as possible with an occasional comment. So,
Fire Emblem Radient Dawn. One of the best Fire Emblem games ever, and the only objectives I can think of it are the stat system is sometimes horrifically against you, the reinforcements are really annoying, and the voice acting is atrocious.
If they ever do voice acting again in a Fire Emblem game, I hope they take the time to get professionals.
it's Nintendo.
Well, I can always hope for a repeat of Baton Kaitos, because that game had terrible voice acting the first time around and amazing voice acting the second.
That is true.
Sonic the Black Knight, okay game, not as bad as everyone says it is, but the sword fighting can be a bit picky at times. You have to use the homing attack and then slash to get rounded, and story is occasionally silly in some places. Oh, and the chivalry system absolutely sucks.
Seriously, when I have to perform a quick time event in order to be successful and being generous to a townsperson, something's wrong.
Zack and Wiki, an incredibly fun puzzle game, probably one of the best original games on the Wii, although the point system doesn't really make that much sense. I mean, seriously, why is my IQ downgraded when I solve a puzzle but I screw up the timing once? Just once!
I'm so glad real life doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Last but not least, the only new one that's actually been commented on this list for just recently. Sonic the Hedgehog got a game that so many people have been waiting for. Sonic 4 Episode 1. The game that's supposed to take it all back to its Genesis roots. A game where Sonic once again runs on a 2D plane and only fights Robotnik. Let me tell you something. After playing through this game, I can tell you that it is a great big pile of epic! Nah.
Well, that wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah. To be honest, it's I really find it hard to get excited or even passionate about the game. It's just meh. Don't get me wrong, people, it's not a bad game by any means. In terms of what controls and platforming, it's fairly competent, although the physics engine is kind of odd in some aspects which you have to adjust yourself to. In fact, it's so odd that, I'm not kidding here, if you're flying through the air, if you stop holding forward, Sonic will just stop moving and plummet downwards.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to describe why I... Because everything about it seems okay. It's just, like I said, the whole core gameplay engine, that's perfectly fine apart from the physics. I think it's just the fact that it just feels cheapy but a bit lifeless somehow. It's kind of... Just to quickly explain, first of all, despite the fact that it's got like a 1,500 point price tag on the Wii system, and it's probably about $15 on Xbox Live, it is a very short game. In fact, just a true story and a quick explanation for Sven. You know how I suddenly said I could do it on Sunday instead of today?
Yeah.
The reason for that was, it came out on Friday, so I figured, wait until Wednesday, then at least I should be about 70% of the way through the game, and therefore I could comment fairly on it. On the same day I got it, I downloaded it at about 9:30 AM, and then I played it for about 3 hours. I had already reached the final boss and acquired 5 of the Chaos Emeralds.
Good lord.
Yeah, it's a very, very short game. I am not just...
Wow, the only game that has ever compared to that is whenever I played Call of Duty 4 and beat it in 4 hours.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's just that's a game I've been able to breeze through. I mean, some people may point out it's arcade play. Sorry, but I'm playing through a lot of platforming games that are designed to be arcadey. There's like 12 levels in all in the boss. Mega Man has more levels than that, for crying out loud, and at least Mega Man's are more challenging. The only vague challenge that comes with Sonic 4 is like it's like a brief annoyance. Like, it will just make one area unnecessarily difficult by adding this really, really irritating gimmick. Like, for example, the final stretch of one course, you're running over collapsing platforms. You jump from one collapsing platform to another, and then you reach the ledge. You almost think you're safe, but they put a bumper right next to it. So, if you don't get the timing right, you'll jump up, hit the bumper, and then be sent into the abyss.
Wow.
Yeah. The challenge is non-existent, and level design? It's the most unoriginal thing I've ever seen. I know they were trying to appeal to nostalgia, but here's the thing. Mega Man 9 appealed to nostalgia by using the classic graphic style and the basic level design, but came up with entirely new levels and characters. Sonic 4 seems to try and replicate nostalgia by replicating the exact same backgrounds and the same enemies, and in some cases the exact same gimmick as the previous stages from previous Sonic games.
Wow. Just wow.
Splash...
Creativity fail.
Yeah, Splash Hill Zone is Green Hill Zone. Casino Street is essentially every single casino level in every Sonic game, with cards thrown into it. Ooh, Lost Labyrinth Zone is essentially Labyrinth Zone, and unfortunately, Mad Gear is Metropolis Zone. And why did I say unfortunately there? Well, here's the thing. I tend to go against the popular opinion in that I prefer Sonic 3 and Knuckles over Sonic 2. And whenever anyone asks me, why the hell could you possibly prefer those games, I point them in the direction of Metropolis Zone. Metropolis Zone was an incredibly cheap stage of enemies, that 2 of which had homing attacks, 1 of which had a stealth attack which could attack you from any direction, crushers which could, well, crush you, and guess what? They've lovingly recreated all of that just to frustrate me into oblivion.
Wow. That's just bad.
Yeah.